The moment you stop being available all the time is the moment your life begins to take a different direction. For many people, constant availability feels like kindness, loyalty, or responsibility. You answer every call, reply to every message, show up for everyone, and sacrifice your own time without hesitation. But over time, something subtle begins to happen. You become taken for granted. Not because people are bad, but because human nature tends to value what is limited. When you are always accessible, your presence loses its weight. Stoicism teaches us that our time and energy are among our most valuable assets, and how we distribute them shapes the quality of our lives. Being constantly available often means you are reacting instead of living intentionally. You move based on other people's needs, schedules, and emotions, rather than your own purpose. Every notification becomes a command. Every request becomes an obligation. And slowly, you drift further away from your own goals. The Stoics believed in self-mastery, having control over your actions, your time, and your focus. When you stop being available to everything and everyone, you begin to reclaim that control. You stop living in reaction mode and start living with direction. There is a powerful shift that happens when you create boundaries. At first, it may feel uncomfortable. You might worry about disappointing people or being misunderstood. But boundaries are not about pushing people away, they are about protecting what matters. When you begin to say no to things that drain you, you are saying yes to things that build you. This is a core Stoic principle: choose what aligns with your values and let go of what does not. Your time should not be dictated by pressure or guilt, but by purpose. Think about how often you've said yes when you really wanted to say no. Maybe you agreed to something just to avoid conflict, or you responded immediately to a message even though you were busy with something important. These small decisions seem harmless, but they accumulate. They create a life where your priorities are constantly interrupted. When you stop being available in this way, you send a message, not just to others, but to yourself, that your time has value. And that message changes everything. People begin to notice the difference. When you're no longer always there, your presence becomes more meaningful. Conversations become more intentional. Your energy feels stronger. You are no longer scattered, you are focused. And with that focus comes a sense of calm. You're not rushing to meet every demand. You're not overwhelmed by endless distractions. You are in control. This is what Stoicism aims to cultivate: a mind that is steady, clear, and undisturbed by external chaos. Of course, not everyone will immediately understand your change. Some people may question it. They might think you've become distant or less caring. But often, what they're really reacting to is the loss of easy access to your time and energy. The truth is, those who genuinely respect you will adjust. They will appreciate your boundaries. And those who don't may reveal something important about their intentions. Stoicism encourages us to focus on what we can control, and other people's opinions are not within that control. When you stop being available all the time, you create space in your life. And space is where growth happens. In that space, you can think more clearly. You can reflect on your actions. You can plan your future. You can invest time in learning, building, and improving yourself. Without constant interruptions, your mind becomes sharper. Your decisions become more deliberate. You begin to move with intention rather than impulse. There is also a deeper emotional benefit to this shift. Constant availability often leads to burnout. You feel drained because you are always giving but rarely recharging. By setting limits, you protect your mental and emotional energy. You give yourself time to rest, to think, to breathe. And when you do choose to engage with others, you show up as your best self, not as someone who is exhausted or distracted. Stoicism reminds us that we are responsible for how we use our time. Life is short, and every moment matters. When you give your time away carelessly, you are giving away pieces of your life. But when you guard it wisely, you begin to build something meaningful. You start to live with intention. You start to focus on what truly matters: your goals, your growth, your peace of mind. Another powerful change that happens is in how you see yourself. When you stop being constantly available, you develop self-respect. You realize that your time is not something to be given away freely. You begin to value your own priorities. And that self-respect reflects in your actions, your decisions, and your presence. You become someone who is grounded, focused, and disciplined. This doesn't mean you stop caring about others. It means you care in a more balanced way. You help when you can, but not at the expense of your own well-being. You listen, but you don't allow yourself to be overwhelmed. You support, but you don't sacrifice your purpose. This is the difference between being kind and being controlled. Stoicism teaches us to be compassionate, but also to be wise. As you continue on this path, you will notice something interesting: your relationships improve. The people who truly value you will respect your time. They will appreciate your presence even more because it is no longer constant. Your interactions become more meaningful because they are intentional. You are not just there, you are present. There is also a sense of freedom that comes with this change. When you are no longer tied to constant availability, you feel lighter. You are not burdened by endless obligations. You are not controlled by every request. You are free to focus on what matters. And that freedom allows you to grow, to explore, and to build the life you truly want. But this journey requires discipline. It's not always easy to say no. It's not always easy to step back. There will be moments when you feel tempted to return to old habits. But each time you choose to protect your time, you strengthen your discipline. You reinforce your values. You become stronger. Start with small steps. You don't have to change everything overnight. Begin by delaying responses. Give yourself time before saying yes. Create moments in your day where you are completely unavailable to distractions. Use that time to focus on your goals, your growth, and your peace. Gradually, these small changes will become habits. Remember, being always available often means being unavailable to your own life. And that is a price too high to pay. Stoicism teaches us to live intentionally, to focus on what we can control, and to build inner strength. When you stop being available to everything, you become available to what truly matters. This is your turning point. This is your opportunity to take control of your time, your energy, and your life. You don't need permission to set boundaries. You don't need approval to prioritize yourself. All you need is the decision to change. And as you begin to make that change, you will see the results. Your mind will become clearer. Your focus will become sharper. Your confidence will grow. And your life will start to move in a direction that reflects your true values. If this message resonates with you, don't stop here. This is just the beginning of your journey towards self-mastery and inner strength. Subscribe to this channel now for more powerful Stoic insights that will help you take control of your life, build discipline, and become the best version of yourself. Join this community of growth and transformation. Subscribe today and start becoming the person you were meant to be.